I'm here in Minneapolis. As you can see, things are pretty quiet, despite what the media is saying. The people of Minneapolis are peaceful and just want to be left alone to build their learning centers. But I've been reflecting a lot on this last week and the horrific murder of an amazing lesbian poet named Renee Good. And I just can't stop thinking about the fact that we live in a country now where you get shot in the face just for trying to run over a law enforcement agent. I mean, what does this come to? What do we come to as a people? But the one thing that keeps me going and gives me hope is at least they didn't shoot a person of color. Thank God it was a white person, because I don't think I'd be able to handle that kind of the guilt. This could have been really bad, but
attention retards. I repeat, attention retards. If you're a Minnesota Democrat snowflake, please move along. We're trying to get rid of all you retards from our small towns and cities. So if you watch CNN, you're definitely retarded, and you need to leave now. Please grab your belongings and join this group of retards leaving the city. We will deport you back to Retardistan, a beautiful place full of specially retarded people like you. Believe me.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Logic. So glad you could join me this evening. Hope that you've been having a phenomenal weekend. Hope that things have been going well for you. That you don't find yourself living in Minneapolis, because that cannot be a good place to be living. Not too many happy people there. A lot of anger. I'm sensing a lot of anger issues coming out of Minneapolis. A lot of anger issues. And we're going to be breaking all that down tonight and lots more. I said lots more in my description. I actually have a bunch of things that I wanted to cover. And I really couldn't list them all. I do plan on sharing with you a whole freaking load of different pepper spray, ice takedowns, just beating on some of these lunatics who are so desperate to make sure that they risk life and limb and show everyone what noble people they are by attacking random ICE agents and standing up for random illegal aliens. Such noble, such fine people. Yes. So watching them getting beaten, I think it's kind of enjoyable. It's kind of an enjoyable thing. But I had other things I want to talk to you about. Most notably, Mamdani facing a loss in New York, a pretty bad loss actually, which could have a significant ramification on his overall agenda for what he sets forward for New York. It's a win for the good guys. I definitely plan on breaking that down for you. What else do we have in here? Oh yeah. While we're on talking about Mamdani, the craziest. This I should have really put in the title, because it was lunacy powers that he's giving to people who, I don't know. Is Sharia law coming to New York? I don't even know. I don't even know. We have Captain Mark Kelly trying to fire back as he's worried about becoming private Mark Kelly, trying to fight back and running to court. And we have a guy who's threatening to kill President Trump. And fascinating, the audacity. I have no doubt that this guy is not in this country. He's out of this country. But going on TikTok and basically threatening to kill our commander-in-chief, which should face serious repercussion if we live in a just world. All that and more coming up for you. We also have a goal this evening. It's a weird goal. I was trying to come up with something original, something novel, something I hadn't done before. One of my side things that I do when I'm looking to kill like 10 minutes is I play 5-minute chess. This is an embarrassing thing for me to do. This is actually like subjecting myself to humiliation. You know how like when they have these fantasy football leagues where like the loser ends up having to like, go through with some awful dare that's just designed to humiliate them. So I think me playing 5-minute chess, multiple games of 5-minute chess on camera, I was like, what would I not ever want to do on camera? I was trying to think, what should I give you as a goal? If we hit our regular goal, which is 15 super chats, $10 or more during the course of 2 hours, what is something I really wouldn't want my audience to watch? And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'd want them watching me play chess just because I bungle so much. And having that recorded for history is probably something I really wouldn't want. So I was like, all right, let's try it out. Let's try it out. Whatever. We'll throw that out there as a goal. Watching me play chess and just freaking out about it as I'm playing it. Anyhow, if that's your thing and you want to push us toward the goal, all we need are 15 super chats or Rumble Rants of $10 or more, and you'll get to watch me play, I guess, at least 3 games. 3 games of 5-minute chess. Oh my God. Sort of like I was like, I'm okay if we don't make it tonight. I'm okay with that. I'm kind of okay with that. Anyhow, it's not, I don't get scholar mated, okay? I'm not gonna get scholar mate. That's not gonna happen. But the humiliation will probably be pretty intense. Yeah. Oh, way more embarrassing. The Jew rap is something I will forever be. It's one of my finest moments ever. The Jew rap, are you kidding me? That was amazing. That COVID rap was just inspired. It was. I'm going to start us off with this that I had not referenced at all, but I think it's important for everyone to know about just because this astonished me. This is an astonishing thing coming out of New York. Let's take care of New York first. Let's start within New York. I thought this was parody when I saw this. I showed this to some of my friends at a engagement party. 2 friends of mine decided to marry off their son and daughter to each other, and a whole bunch of friends of mine were there. And I was showing this to one of them, and he's pretty liberal, and he was like, "That's pretty crazy. Check this out.
Residents in New York say they're alarmed after seeing Muslim community patrols driving through their neighborhoods in what looked like police squad cars.
We have the Muslim police now in New York. He's been mayor of New York for a freaking week and a half, and now we have the Muslim police. Yes, the Muslim police. Obviously, why would that not be coming? The specially designated. I'm not talking about cops who are Muslims. No. These are specifically the Muslim police in what purport to be New York City cop cars.
One America's Pearson Sharp has the details.
New Yorkers say they're shocked after seeing Muslim patrol cars roaming their neighborhoods like police squads. These Muslim community patrols.
MCP. This is like what, normally it says NYPD here, like over here, like NYPD. No, this is the MCP, the Muslim Community Patrol, in a vehicle that looks, for all intents and purposes, minus the red and blue lights on top. It looks like a typical New York cop car.
Just began operating in Brooklyn this year, and according to the Council on American Islamic Relations, they are the first of their kind in the United States.
The first of its kind in the United States, coming soon to a city near you. Unbelievable. But they need it. They really do need it.
The patrol sprang up as an apparent response to some 14 biased incidents against New York Muslims in 2017.
And back in 2017... You see, because the reason you really need to have it is because back in 2017, just a mere 8 years ago, there were 14 attacks against Muslims. That's right. So you need to get that Muslim community patrol out there pronto. They need to be out there pronto, because just a mere 9 years ago, we had 14 in a city with 8 million. There were 14 attacks on Muslims. This is serious stuff.
Actually, a rather low number, considering there's over 8.6 million people living in the city.
14 attacks!
According to the group's vice president, Noor Rabah, the group currently has 30 members, but plans on rapidly expanding to cover the entire city.
The entire city having the Muslim community patrol just... what's that neckline showing? This is true. It's not their own ambulance. They're voluntary. First of all, they're not police. There's no Muslim police. It's not just Hasidic Jews. Orthodox Jews do have their own ambulatory services, which is called Hatzalah. And the reason that was formed is because of the slow response times that led to the death of a Jew, which basically inspired this, and it's been happening for a long time. But first and foremost, ambulatory services are not police forces. There's no Jewish police force. There's a Jewish security that drives around. There's like one car. The difference is it's not. These are funded by the private community, as opposed to part of the city structure. That's what makes this unique. It's part of the city structure. This is part of something. Mamdani's like, no, this is on. They're on. I don't even know if they're on payroll, for all I know. But they're certainly set up and structured by Mamdani in this city. The city Jews don't have that. No. I don't know about that. I just saw this now. This just popped up now. Is that really true? Is this since 2019? That would explain the 2017. This popped in my feed like yesterday. Let me be the first. God bless you, Pam Ronning. See, one person has to sort of jump on in there with the $10 super chat saying, let me see Joe play chess. We need to watch this.
He describes the Muslim patrols like a neighborhood watch, but on steroids, with members dressed like police officers and driving cars identical to police squad cars. Residents say they're uncomfortable with the patrols, which they describe as being similar to Sharia police. Others have raised doubts about the purpose of the patrols, saying New York's police department is already very diverse, and their only job is to patrol the city streets and protect people from harassment or crime.
I need to check this out, though. I am very curious because of what IceMed here says. I had not heard about this. When did New York City begin? You know what? Let's just ask Grok in front of you. If I'm wrong here, if IceMed is right, I want to correct the record. If it's not Mamdani, but it was something done under De Blasio, I definitely want to correct the record on that. That's for sure. I don't want to mislead anyone. Hey, Grok.
Hey, what's up?
All right, that's an annoying voice. Hey, Grok, let's try that one.
Hey, all right, let's do it. What's the play?
Okay, here's a question for you. When did New York City first implement a Muslim community patrol?
2019.
Wow.
The first.
Really? That was De Blasio?
Yeah, it launched in late 2018, December to be precise, right in Brooklyn during de Blasio's time as mayor. But it wasn't something he implemented. It was a volunteer, community-led thing inspired by groups like the Jewish Shomrim patrols.
That was That was the Jewish shaman patrols. That's sort of like so it's not city structured at all.
No, not at all city structured. The Muslim Community Patrol is totally volunteer run, community funded, and independent, just like the Jewish Shamrim patrols they modeled it after.
Well
No
done.
city.
Well done. All right. All right. Well, I was wrong, and I'm gonna accept ownership of that. I was totally wrong. We're gonna take this story down. We're done with that. I'm so glad I didn't put this in the title. Oh my God, I have to change this entire video at it. Coming out and just sort of that would just be awful. All right. We're gonna move along. We're gonna move right along from that story. So Zoran, I owe you an apology. My apologies. I'm glad I cleared that up. Thank you, IceMed. Jerk. I hate when I'm wrong. That sucks. Man, that sucks. All right. This one I'm not wrong about. This one is spot on. No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm glad you're correct. I'm much happier being corrected than to purvey something inaccurate. So I'll get over it. I'll get over it. But what we do have in Mamdani's ledger, if we don't have the Muslim Community Patrol, what we do have is Mamdani notching a loss in opening gambit to take on New York City landlords. Let's make this, move this over here like this. We'll move this here. Make it a little bigger here. So I have to figure out how to structure myself here with my new layout in a way. That's good. All right. The federal bankruptcy court could approve the $451 million transfer of 5,000 rent-regulated units despite city opposition. New York City's mayor was unable to halt the auction of 5,000 rent-stabilized units in bankruptcy court, underscoring the limits of local power in federal cases. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani suffered defeat in his first skirmish with multifamily property owners as part of a strategic war to remake the city's rent-stabilized housing. This guy is determined to destroy New York and basically have it owned by his friends. That is what, if he has his way, New York City will be owned by his. He will have like 30 to 50% of New York City residences owned by his friends by the time he leaves office. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani suffered defeat in his first skirmish. On Friday, Summit Properties USA became the winning bidder for more than 5,000 rent-regulated units owned by bankrupt Pinnacle Development Group. Why are they bankrupt? Well, they're bankrupt because, in case you missed it, when I covered it last week, the law in New York basically makes sure that eventually every property in the city that is rent controlled, which is 1 million properties, half of all of the real estate, residential real estate in New York City, that all of them, basically, it is completely not profitable to own and operate them. That is how they structure it, because they said you're never allowed to raise the rent on it at all. You have to only have a 2% increase, which doesn't even keep up with inflation. So you never have an opportunity to invest money into fixing up property for tenants to move in there, because like you used to, when you had an old tenant move out, you'd be able to put improvements, fix things, put $50,000, $100,000 into a unit so that it's really livable. But now you can't afford to do that because you're losing money and you're not able to make it back in increased rent. The sale went through despite Mamdani's push to delay the auction units, which were plagued by unresolved maintenance issues and a flood of tenant complaints. Of course, there's a flood of tenant complaints. There's only going to be more and more tenant complaints. Mamdani's setback shows how even a mayor determined to capitalize on an affordability mandate can struggle once cases moved into federal court. The fight in Big Apple unfolds as cities and states nationwide tighten or explore rent stabilization, even as apartment industry leaders argue that such measures backfire, exacerbating shortages. Of course, it's going to exacerbate it. New Year's Day, Mamdani stood in a Pinnacle-owned building, using it as his bully pulpit to vow to take on landlords. For too long, bad landlords have been allowed to mistreat their tenants with impunity, he said. That ends today. And that doesn't end today. It's just going to get worse with you. Mamdani also said the city counts itself among Pinnacle creditors, citing fines for violations and unpaid taxes. He sought a 30-day delay in the auction to pursue options he claimed could better safeguard tenants and stabilize troubled buildings. Instead, New York U.S. bankruptcy judge David Jones handed the mayor's first rebuke, which means Mamdani now must bless the bankruptcy auction's outcome at a hearing scheduled for Thursday. Mamdani may also face additional challenges if landlords prevail in a federal lawsuit against the state over its 2019 rent stabilization law. That was the law that I was just talking about. That measure limits how much landlords can raise rents even after renovations for new tenants. Many landlords opted to leave units vacant rather than make improvements under the measure's rent increase ceilings. The number of vacant, unimproved properties is estimated to run in the tens of thousands. Tens of thousands of units that are now vacant. They're like, oh, we have no place to put people. Yeah, you know why? Because you made it impossible to actually make it economically worthwhile. Pinnacle, owned by billionaire Joel Wiener, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy last year after Long Island-based Flagstar Bank foreclosed on properties that carried nearly $600 million in debt. Of course, they're in debt. No one wants to live in these traps anymore. Summit struck a $451 million deal at auction for the properties in late December. Notice that they owed $600 million, and all their properties were only worth $451 million. Why they worth so little? They weren't worth so little 10 years ago. They're worth much less than they used to be because of that stupid law. The deal covers a $90 billion portfolio across 4 of New York City's 5 boroughs. Those properties have become emblematic of both chronic disrepair and the fragility of regulated housing when highly leveraged owners falter. Pinnacle's financial collapse sparked fears that the buildings could slide further into neglect during a protracted financial restructuring. Of course they would. Tenants filed letters with the court detailing how bad conditions have become in Pinnacle's buildings. In some, Pinnacle seems to have purposefully decided to allow criminal activity to thrive in at least 2 of their buildings, tenants said in a letter to the bankruptcy court. What are they supposed to do? Judge Jones wrote that the court was sympathetic and concerned about reports of criminal activity and unsafe conditions. However, he noted that they didn't request specific judicial action, indicated that he would not enter a substantive order. Instead, he said complaints should go to current and prospective owners and to government regulatory authorities. They could also raise the complaints at future hearings. Summit executives assured the court that writing down much of Pinnacle's debt through bankruptcy will free capital for long-delayed repairs. So they said, hey, look, we're going to have money that's going to come in now. We'll be able to use that to put into other repairs. Tenant groups countered with questions on whether another private profit-driven owner would deliver meaningful improvements. In his January 1 speech at the apartment building, Mamdani noted that Summit ranked number 6 on the city's list of worst landlords. The Pinnacle fight launched an instant stress test of Mamdani's affordability mandate on rent-stabilized housing. For now, his early failure highlights the limits of mayoral power once distressed rent-stabilized portfolios enter federal bankruptcy. Creditor rights and contract law tend to outweigh local housing priorities, meaning, look, you might be able to get away with things before they file bankruptcy, but once they go to bankruptcy and they're under the protections of federal court, because anytime they file for bankruptcy, you're basically going to impoverish them and send them fleeing to bankruptcy court. And once they're in bankruptcy court, now it becomes a federal matter where you have much less sway as a New York City mayor. Housing advocates say the episode is proof that New York needs stronger preservation tools. Those tactical solutions include dedicated acquisition funding and purchase options for tenants and public or nonprofit buyers. Like, this is the stupidest thing. People mistake the phrase nonprofit for an entity that's not seeking profits. That's the big problem. Unfortunately, too many of these nonprofits are very, very, very profitable. Otherwise, deteriorating regulated buildings will continue to run at high risk of speculative cycles. Meanwhile, national apartment groups are tracking more than 100 rent control and stabilized proposals nationwide. They're carefully watching Mamdani's progress, viewing New York City as a bellwether for the next round of fights. It's such a disaster. So it's good that he took a loss there. That's definitely good. Fumizar. Fumov. Says, hey, cute kitty. Second, I think you are second. This was first, and this was second. And Brian Oldenkamp over here is third. God bless. I'm here watching Just Hard. Go, Joe. Hit the like. Thank you, Kimmy. So nice. Generic account. God bless you. Hit me with a fitty. Off topic. Jews seem to be less worried about criticism of Israel. The U.S. is critical of its own government. Many Western countries see corruption in their country. Jewish communities are much less so. Honest question. I would spend $50 to be I wouldn't spend $50 to be a there. So you say less worried about criticism of Israel. Is that what you meant to say? Because I'm not sure if I want to make sure I want to understand your question. So you don't need to send another super chat. Did you mean to say more worried about criticism of Israel? Is that what you meant to say? I just want to make sure I get this correct. So I'll tell you right now. There are some Jews. Jews sort of we tend to vary very dramatically in our levels of Zionism. And even those who support the state, amongst those who support the state, a lot of them don't really support the government. I've talked about this a couple of times, but you spend $50 on a super chat. So I want you to understand the complicated relationship that Jews have with the state of Israel. I'm talking specifically now about American Jews. Let's focus there, because everyone has issues with their own government. So, Americans having trouble. But I assume you're asking about Jews relating to, their thoughts and feelings about this. I assume you're asking the country of Israel. So I'll try and explain to you the complicated nature of the relationship that Jews, and in particular Orthodox Jews, have with the state of Israel. And that is, we do look at Israel as a place that during the Messianic era, meaning once the Messiah comes, there will be a return of all Jews to the state of Israel. Or if you're an Orthodox Jew, that's part of a core essential belief. Same way believing in one God is a belief that ultimately a Messiah will come, be a resurrection, and everyone understands that when the Messiah comes, there will be all of our people are going to return to the land of Israel. Let's just call it for now the land of Israel. I don't want to call it the state of Israel, because I don't think no one would have thought of it as the state of Israel 100 years ago or 200 years ago. So for thousands of years, the thought was that Messiah is going to come and Jews will return to the land of Israel. Now, the land of Israel ultimately became, obviously, in 1948, the state of Israel. The persons who were most involved politically in pushing forward for Israel to gain statehood had a myriad of reasons that were motivating them to attain statehood for Israel as a homeland for Jews. These reasons included primarily a safe haven for Jews to live. Now, we've been in diaspora for 2,000 years, there nearly so, and that basically, eventually, when a Jewish community is in any country long enough, eventually there's going to be a rise of anti-Semitism, and that Israel would be a home to be a safe place for Jews to live. So they wanted to turn the land of Israel into the state of Israel. Okay? But a lot of just the core concept behind that entire philosophy stands in opposition to Torah. And you have to understand that from an Orthodox Jewish perspective, Torah is the ultimate truth. So anything that's standing in opposition to Torah is something that is going to be chastised and rejected as being evil. That it's basically it's against God's will. So now you have this complicated scenario, however. The complication is that Jews are ultimately supposed to come back to the land of Israel. Now the land of Israel is becoming the state of Israel, but the return of Jews to Israel is really supposed to be during the Messianic era, which means literally a Messiah, not some invented figure, but literally, Elijah, donkey, a whole 9 yards. Okay, so that is when we're supposed to go back. And the Neturei Karta, which is a sect of Hasidic Jews, are very fervent in that camp, saying that anything related to the concept of a state of Israel is against Torah, and that's why they will march alongside the PLO and basically say eradicate the state of Israel. But Orthodox Jews have been very, very split about this, wherein many of them say, look, we understand that some of the Jews who were motivated to turn the land of Israel into the state of Israel may have been inspired by ideas that are in opposite to Torah, but you can't deny the fact that this is a holy place. And because it's a holy place, which everyone would agree, any Orthodox Jew would agree, is definitely a holy place with uniquely holy ground, laws, regulations, and status, that for all of these reasons, it is something that is, it's a special place where any individual who goes there and feels some sort of connection to Torah, invariably they feel a spiritual uplifting just from being in the land of Israel. And that the opportunity to visit the Wailing Wall or the Western Wall, which we call the Kotel, or countless Jewish historical sites is something that is incredibly inspirational. Plus, we also have to recognize that currently there are millions of Jews who live there who, one way or another, are our own cousins. So we definitely don't want to see them in any sort of harm. In fact, many of us have far closer relatives than that. I have first cousins living there. My son is currently living there. My father's and wife are currently visiting there. And Jews are regularly there. So we definitely don't want to see them in harm's way. So for all of these reasons, most Orthodox Jews are certainly looking for Israel to be at least a safe place to visit. Not a place that they're banished from being able to go there, or that people who go there are going to be living subjected to tyranny, whether by Muslims, Christians, or Buddhists would show up. That they should be able to go there and practice their faith without being subjected to any sort of harassment for simply enjoying that pretty basic privilege. So that's why there's sort of this whole conflicted thing. I see you have a follow-up here, so maybe that'll help me better understand your question. Western countries have worries of corruption. Our governments are against this. Why does the Jewish community not have so many concerns for Israel? I could say the U.S. is blessed by God, but it doesn't feel like where we are. Oh, so what I'll tell you is I don't think that's true. I don't think that there's a shunning of a notion of there being corruption. No, I think that there's, like any government, I think it's very possible that there's corruption, and I have very little faith in the state of Israel's government. But, saying that I have little faith in the state of Israel's government, I have very little faith in our own government. I don't trust governments in general. There's no government I can point to as I have a lot of faith in that government. So no, you have every right to distrust the Israeli government, the French government, the American government. You should distrust all of these governments. They're all ultimately tend to be run by people who are looking out for their own self-interest. And I never would assume that someone who's in a position of that kind of power, that they happen to be the uniquely blessed with nobility in their integrity. So, yeah, I can't speak to why, perhaps that if you see Jews who are reluctant to say that about Israeli government, I think it's probably because of a fear that just leads to some sort of, adding on of anti-Israel hatred. And here's the other thing I will point out. Here's the other thing that I think you might be missing. So this could better answer the question. Anyone who was blind to it before October 7th, 2023, can no longer be blind to the fact that anti-Israel sentiment is often, if not always, every single time, a mask for an actual hatred of Jews. I said this long before October 7th. I've been saying this for 15 years, that it's very, very possible to be strongly to being anti-Zionist and not being anti-Semitic. It is 1,000% possible. I have just yet to meet a single individual like that. You can have a unicorn, you can have a horse that grows like that, and then because ideologically it makes sense. But invariably, these same people who are anti-Zionist are ecstatic when some synagogue of Jews gets set on fire by some Arab saying, destroy the state of Israel. It's like, why would you attack these Parisian Jews or Ottawa Jews or Pittsburgh Jews? Why would you be attacking them as a statement against Israel? Why would you attacking them rather than, I don't know, some local government or something like that? It's because there's an assumption by the anti-Zionists that every Jew is supporting it, so now is supporting the state of Israel. So anyone who's wearing a kippah or dressed modestly is assumed to be someone who's supporting the state of Israel and open warfare on them to basically harm them. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, so then if you understand that there's such a close relationship between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, even the ones who are anti-Zionist and really don't think that they're anti-Semitic, and maybe if they're not anti-Semitic, they're certainly anti-Semitic adjacent. It's so overlapping. It is so strongly overlapping that it's impossible to ignore. And you know what? Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe 5% of all anti-Zionists are purely just about being anti-Zionist, even though I've never heard of anyone being anti-French government. I've never heard anyone being the anti the Sudanese government or the anti the Botswana government or anti the Jordan government or anti the Canadian government. No one's marching. No one, even as much as we all hated that stupid queer guy Pierre Trudeau, whatever. No one was marching. I'm against the Canadian government, but you do see that against the Israeli government. So you have to ask why. Why is that your fixation? It's always that, even before October 7th. Even before Netanyahu. So that's why you're like, why would someone feel that strongly about it unless they have some other motivation? And that's why I said 15 years ago. And maybe it's changed. Maybe some people are genuinely anti-Zionist who are not anti-Semitic. You don't see them. And invariably, given on a long enough curve, someone who starts off as anti-Zionist ends up becoming anti-Semitic. So that's why I think it's possible that you might see some defensiveness of some Jews of the Israeli government, because we've seen so many examples of people who start anti-Zionist who ultimately end up hating all Jews across the world, that they get defensive about smears against Israel out of a recognition those smears end up becoming a smear about Jews. That's why. And you don't see that happen with any other race, any other nationality. You don't see it happen with anyone else. So that would be the reason that you probably would see that defensiveness. I think that's probably the best answer. Didn't expect to go there tonight, but we go where the questions are. What have you done to annoy the YouTube overlords? They're still unsubscribing us. I know, at an alarming rate. I lost 100 people over the weekend. 80 people over the weekend. It's an alarming rate. How long do you think those protests are going to go on? The anti-Israel protests, the anti-Zionist protests seem to have been replaced by the anti-ICE protests, because there's only so many ways you can hire out the same protesters. Sorry, I'm too busy. I'm too busy at an anti-ICE protest. I can't go to an anti-Zionist protest. So, yeah. I forgot to check over in the ghetto. Let me see if we got anything going on here. You're seeing anti-Iran government Uzelian saying, and that's true. That's true. But that's not like an ongoing thing you see all the time. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that happen all the time. It's a temporary thing. You don't see them going on for months, years, decades. All right. I want to get this out of the way also. Once I'm covering side stories, let me get this out of the way. I see we're marching forward. I did not think that you guys would be paying for like to want to watch me play chess. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. It's not a pretty thing. You don't want to watch. I'm so bad at it. I'm so bad at it. Gosh, I get so angry at myself. All right. So I wanted to share with you this lunatic. Once we're talking about lunatic Muslims.
Donald Trump, if you don't stop what you're doing, I'm going to have to get involved. And we don't want that to happen, because then the serious things are going to happen. And things are going to start escalating to the point where you're going to basically get murked off the face of the earth if I get involved. But I don't want to have to get involved. So, don't be doing this anymore. Donald Trump, if you don't...
What? Yeah. That definitely sounds like a threat. It definitely sounds like a threat. I don't think there's any other way anyone could take that as being anything short of a threat. I don't know how seriously Donald Trump is about to be taking that threat. But still, that's definitely a threat. That's definitely intended to be a threat. And this, in case you're wondering who that is, this British guy, this very brave British guy, Khalid Barakat. Attendant, that's who is believed to be. It looks like that guy. I assume it's Khalid. I assume that this is a picture of that guy. To me, that looks like the same guy. And people are trying to help Secret Service find this guy. Southampton, England, UK. Yeah. So I don't know what to make out of that, other than Doofus threatens Donald Trump. I don't know if he's serious. I don't know if it's parody. I don't know what the heck he is. I'll tell you right now, do not make a video like this if you live in America, because you would and should go to jail. You don't have free speech. Free speech laws don't allow for that. We have the broadest free speech laws in the world, and even our laws do not allow for that. And speaking of people who don't understand what limits on free speech include, alas, that would include one of our state senators, and that state senator goes by the name of Captain Mark Kelly. Notice how he changed his name to Captain? Yeah, you can, yeah, currently. Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth. Instead of Senator Mark Kelly, he goes by Captain Mark Kelly. I only first noticed that now. Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth tried to silence me for speaking out. Say I'm fighting back because this isn't just about me. This is about the rights of all retired veterans. Whenever someone tells you this is not all about me, it is always about them. It is always about them, not all about me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fighting back because this isn't just about me. This is about the rights of all retired veterans, all Americans. I'm not going to let this administration take those away. They've already been taken away. They weren't taken away. It's a contract. You agree in exchange for retiring and getting a pension that you're going to honor the same code. No one told you had to take a pension. You could have said, hey, adios. I'm out of here. I'm done with this. But you decide to retire, take a pension, and then not honor those terms. This is why he's running to court. No, I don't think he's got much chance. I'll be very surprised. The real reason he's going to court is he's praying that this would replace the court martial. He's basically saying, I don't want to go in front of a military tribunal. I want to be heard by a court of law because I'm afraid of what our current military is going to think a joke I am. So that's almost certainly that's the form he's hoping to choose as to the legitimacy of to determine the legitimacy or the potential illegality or violations of UCMJ. He wants to have that heard by the Supreme Court instead of being heard by his local, his local federal court, rather than having it heard by a military tribunal.
Hey, folks. So today I filed a federal lawsuit against Pete Hegseth and the administration. And here's why. Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth sent a chilling message.
No, you sent a chilling message. Your chilling message was disregard Donald Trump.
To every retired member of the military. If you speak out and say something that the president or the Secretary of Defense does not like.
Not true.
You will be censured.
That's not true. It's not something they don't like. It's something directing the military to disregard the president. That's what you did.
Threatened with a reduction in retirement grade or even prosecuted. They're abusing their authority to silence the voices that they find inconvenient.
Not inconvenient. Not inconvenient. Disruptive of basic military function. That's what you did. You tried to disrupt military function. Actions. You could not even define what had been an unconstitutional order, and yet you made that and claim that they're going on all the time. So, yeah, you're properly being prosecuted in a military tribunal. I think a court is going to dismiss this.
Speech is protected by the First Amendment.
It's not a First Amendment speech for a thing. If I make I can't go around telling you about a meeting I had with a client today. Well, it's free speech. I have free speech. I have free speech. I can say whatever I want because I have free speech. Oh, yeah. Why don't I have free speech? No, let me explain something to you, buddy. If you contract away your free speech, you do not have the right to go out there and just engage in free speech free of consequence. I contract out that right. I accept certain duties and responsibilities as someone's counsel, potential counsel, that I cannot just go on the internet and tell everyone about it. And if I do, I can be censured. I could lose my license. But what about my law license? I have a right to practice law. You can't take away. You're depriving me of an opportunity to earn money. You're depriving me of my livelihood. Well, you're punishing my free speech? Heck yes, every single time. Because at the end of the day, if you contract out and say, I will keep my mouth shut, and in exchange for goods and services, for money, for privileges, for financial compensation, you are not free to just go You just don't have that right anymore. And you're sitting here crying alligator tears that you think that you should be allowed to do this, and I'm speaking up on behalf of the retired military. But everyone else in the retired military somehow seems to understand that they cannot be directing the military to just disregard the commander-in-chief because, I think maybe this is an unconstitutional order. I can't come up with any examples of when that ever happened, but I think maybe it is, so I'm just going to disregard it. You were purposely trying to sow discontent discontent, to demoralize and make everyone in our military question, particularly at the higher echelons of our military. You are purposefully trying to sow that discontent, which if you were an individual citizen, you potentially could get away with that without being prosecuted or suffering any sort of retribution. This is the way your co-conspirators in this entire cooked up, stupid, retardo, dangerous scheme are likely to get away with it. But as a retired member of our military, no.
That warning is not just alarming, it's unconstitutional.
Wrong.
And that's why I'm fighting back. So thank you for standing with me through all of this, and I'll keep you posted.
Idiot. I'm not going to be captain for much longer. I don't expect that to be going anywhere. I think that's going to be dismissed relatively quickly. I'll be very, very surprised if he gets anywhere with that. But take your shot. Take your shot. I don't know how many Mohams are born in Great Britain. Born in Great Britain wouldn't last 3 days. I think there's probably a lot born in Great Britain these days. Probably a lot. That's just my own personal speculation. Given what's happened across the pond. Given what's happened across the pond, I would think probably a whole bunch. All right. I think it's time. It's time for us to start getting. Oh, wait. No, it's not time yet. It's not time. I got more side stories to give you before I get into the whole pepper spray ice raid thing. You have to love Nate Friedman. This guy, he's a journalist. He's a journalist. He's an old school type of journalist. A young man who's an old school journalist.
Right now, I'm representing myself, and I'm representing the folks at Rise and Resist who have been trained
so Rise
to
and
be
Resist.
marshals.
How much do they pay you to wear this vest?
Absolutely nothing.
Really?
So I did some digging, and the woman trying to stop my interview is named Karen Shaw. She is a professional protester. I found her at almost 100 different protests. Let's look at her portfolio, shall we? Here's her outside Trump Tower saying TikTok time's up. Here's her saying ban guns, not drag. Amazing. This is her telling us that lies have consequences. She is also very passionate about abortion. Even in the video right now, she's just wearing a hat that says abortion on
it. Very few people wear labels so brazenly like that, but I guess she's a walking abortion.
Sometimes she gets less creative, though, and just holds a sign that says enough. Now, here I found her working with a different professional protester that I've exposed. This is Stuart Waldman. He was there when they raised the Palestinian flag over City Hall in Rhode Island.
Everyone knows you.
Everyone knows me?
You are. They know what you do.
I know what you do as well, Stuart Waldman. You are on the board of riseandresist.org, the company that is paying people like Karen for a second job as a professional protester. And the donation link to give you money is just Act Blue, which is the fundraising platform for the Democrat Party. That's who you are, Stuart Waldman.
Wow. Go straight to Act Blue.
Now back to Karen. I found her with another professional protester that I've exposed. This was back at the Tesla protest. This is just a few photos of this other professional protester out of maybe 50 that I found.
Yeah, because that's what they are. That's what they are. That's what all of these protests are. Especially when you see a protest in a red state, that you're like, wow, I never would have thought that in Lexington, Kentucky, you would see so many people like that. You're going to see that 98% of them are going to be old white people. And they're all bought. They're all bought. And this is not an old white person. This is just a lunatic. So I'm changing gears to a different story here. I only watched the beginning of this speech from Rochelle Bilal. Rochelle Bilal, head of Philadelphia Sheriff's Office, who was claiming that ICE is a fake law enforcement agency and claiming she's going to arrest federal agents. We'll see that happen. That's going to definitely happen. You don't want this smoke because we will bring it to you. And I'm sure she's got a lot of smoke trailing behind her.
And I say her name, Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. This should not have happened, but we're here today. Let know that law enforcement professionals, real ones, not the fake made up ICE, probably Trump's new army to attack citizens of the United States. Did you hear what I said? No law enforcement professional wears a mask. None. None.
Audacity of this behemoth.
Those that come into our communities wearing a mask to commit crime, thank God.
Commit crime. Ugh. Wow.
For our district attorney, Larry Krasner, who say he's going to lock him up. And I'm saying now, we are not going to whisk you away for them to hide your identity, because when you do it there, you're getting arrested there. No whisk away for them to hide you. None of that here. None of that here. Law enforcement professionals do not shoot at moving vehicles.
Really? Even if they're speeding right at you. Idiot.
I'm not saying fleeing because she wasn't fleeing. She was getting out of the way.
Oh, really? She's getting out of the way with him in front of her car.
Law enforcement professionals do not stand in front of moving vehicles.
He wasn't standing in front of a moving vehicle. She started moving. She came to him. She actually turned the wheels and started coming into him.
Invoking an action that is illegal.
You know what the hell you're talking
about?
No, you incompetent boob.
And so we stand here today with all those who stand against the made-up, fake, what you can call ICE, professional law enforcement. I don't call them none of that. I call them made-up, fake, wannabe law enforcement.
Because this is what a paragon of a police officer is supposed to look like right here. This is it. You're the real deal.
Because what they do is against not only legal law, but the moral law.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a moral law when you're talking about law enforcement. There's no moral law enforcement. I mean, unless you're like, I guess giving some sort of sermon, which it seems like you think you're doing.
So I'm with the DA, and we will work with them. If any of them want to come in this city and commit a crime, you will not be able to hide. Nobody will whisk you off. You don't want this smoke, because we will bring it to you. And the fake, whatever they call it.
You don't want this smoke.
Because I can't say the name, but the criminal in the White House would not be able to keep you.
We all want the smoke, JLB. We all want the smoke. Show us the smoke.
From going to jail. Renee Good should be here today. And to her family.
But then she tried running over an ICE agent, and now she's dead. Burning in hell next to George Floyd.
We are saying law enforcement professionals are not the ones here in this city that would do that. But here's the last thing that I will say. Law enforcement professionals around the country do their job. And we have been fighting for years to build that bridge between us and our communities. You have one negative nutcase that causes this problem, and now we all have to fight again to let people know law enforcement works with communities. These crimes would not be down if we didn't have communities work with us. Thank you.
So, I guarantee you she will have 0 convictions of these illegal ICE activities. I'm just saying what the hell she's rambling on about. This animal. But basically, that type of rhetoric is, from my mind, designed to foster more outrageous conduct from protesters, because you're basically saying anything that ICE does is illegal. She's a menace. That's what she is. She's a walking menace, or I guess a slow rolling menace, whatever you want to call her. Does Kelly Green color revolutionists know what discovery is? I don't know. Kelly Green. I don't think he needs. He's not. I don't think he's going to get to discovery. I think he gets dismissed before he gets there. I think he's getting dismissed. Like this is failure state of cause of action. I don't even know if it's something that they can even hear. Automatically, I think jurisdiction should go to the military tribunal. So I doubt there's jurisdiction in the court to even listen to his complaint. Pam running for Scott Adams, who Avatech tells us is in hospice with only days to live. Prayers for Scott Adams. It's a good man. What happened to peaceful transitions? They lose? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what we're seeing here. We could be traveling to star systems, but we're stuck here babysitting you know who. What? Traveling to star system? What? What? I don't know what this means. How are we traveling to star systems? Tell me more about the star systems. Uzalian says, most of this is paid for. Just find a city and go on Reddit, and you'll see they use the flyers and same information. Yep. This should not be so hard to infiltrate. I'm surprised that some plucky, young, intrepid reporter has not yet joined in with one of these rallies to get paid and basically go undercover as a paid protester. This does not seem like a hard thing to do. The better known you are, the harder it is to do it. I'm going to tell you right now. You want a huge scoop. You want to go from, if you're a nobody and you have aspirations of going viral overnight, I'm going to tell you right now, do some undercover reporting. Go for a month to these different protests, sign up with one of these agencies of the rent a mob type of agencies, make a few bucks marching around saying Trump is evil, down with ICE, crush ICE, or whatever it is. Stay in the background most of the time, but really just, spend some time with like a little undercover, like sort of like phone recordings. So it's like what's going on behind the scenes, and get some good footage of them basically talking about, how they strategize. You can actually show what's going on there, and you'll be the next Nick Shirley. It's not that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. It could be you. I urge you. Do it safely. Don't put yourself at risk. So definitely don't do that. But it should not be that hard a thing to do. My face is too well known for me to actually do it. Like, if I did it like 3 times, someone would figure out who I was. Besides, I'm an old man. You don't have I can't go on Saturdays. But one of you, for sure. Go out, do it. I'm telling you. If you live in the New York region, probably even in the Midwest, find out where these folks are coming from, and help expose the way Nate Friedman does. But without the Nate Friedman way is to basically come in the face and say, so why do you believe this? Oh, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Instead, you're actually able to sit there where you sort of get your instruction guide as to like what you should do when you're protesting to help blow the lid off of this. I think that would be a nice little service. Yeah, my voice is far too deep also, I guess. Do it. There's a whole bunch of old white people doing it. I was going to say I can't get away with it because I'm an old white man, but I was like, no, they're all old white men. They're usually white women, but a few white men there. Do it. Hey, Chief, you should have done something at the Eagles from the 49ers. I was happy to see that. I rarely root for the 49ers, but that was when I was like, I'm tired of Jalen Hurts and this whole stupid tush-push people. I'm tired of the tush-push people. So I was happy to see them get bounced out. They require voter ID to protest? So you change your voter ID. That shouldn't be that hard. I can't believe they all have voter ID. Do it. Do it. Just make sure you stay safe, brother. I don't want you getting hurt. Okay? So you sneak in a little recording there. You know, do like the whole John O'Keefe thing. So what would I do then? And what should I do in this scenario? What if someone starts getting violent with me? You know, should we try to push the envelope a little bit more? What if they're doing everything legally? Should I stand in front of the vehicle? Should I be cursing at them? Should I get in their face? Like find out what directions they give you. You're not curious? I'm curious. I'm sure a lot of people would be curious. These are things that the public has a right to know. Oh, my diggers enjoying the little playground there. That's nice to see. That's always nice to see. So talk about the Golden Globes. Nah. I don't care about the Golden Globes. Okay. So tensions are starting to mount. And we got Eric Dougherty here reporting that Tren de Aragua has ordered its members to shoot police in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's what our cops, that's what our folks are dealing with now.
On the streets of Salt Lake City,
a lot of crime when it comes to gang-on-gang violence.
Police say one gang quietly has been rising up the ranks.
TDA, Tren de Aragua gang.
Tren de Aragua.
They have terrorized multiple South American countries.
A prison gang known throughout Latin America for extortion, drugs and human trafficking, kidnappings and killings, has now been linked by investigators to crimes closer to home.
And that's when we really started to realize that we did have a presence here in Utah.
Utah Department of Public Safety Chief of Investigations Tanner Jensen says while the Sureños, Crips, and Bloods claim far more members in Utah, and the Sinaloa cartel continues to rule the drug trade throughout most of the Rocky Mountain region, Tren de Aragua is looking for its cut.
Trying to build an identity here in Utah and build out their network.
Jensen says, though, that's easier said than done, with the Venezuelan gang very much on law enforcement radars since 2024. Back then, the National Sheriff's Association even stated TDA had given its members the green light to fire on police officers.
So there you go. There you go. I'm going to remind any law enforcement officers who are watching here to make sure you stay on a high alert, especially if you think you might be dealing with Tren de Aragua. I don't think you need a warning from me about that. I think you're generally probably well trained to be on high alert. But yeah, that's just like another reminder how we need it. Why we need ICE to do what we need ICE to do. Not all cops are bad. even though if you saw that Philly sheriff, you'd be like, what the heck? What the heck? This dude is based AF.
Let me make this clear.
In Chicago, no less. That's right. Chicago Police Department. Larry Snelling, superintendent of the Chicago Police Department, doing an impression of that guy from Brooklyn 911 or whatever that is.
Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that. And you are putting yourself in danger. Following law enforcement agents around. The question is why? What do you plan on doing?
And we see that this is an increased trend right now where people are, have ICE trackers designed to find where ICE is and bring an emergency crowd there to wherever they are trying to enforce immigration and customs. So, yeah, he's right. What's your motivation? What are you doing there?
It's also reasonable for them to believe that you're eventually going to do harm to them. If you ram any vehicle, especially that one that contains law enforcement agents, and that's any law enforcement, local, state, federal, county, and you do this intentionally, this is considered deadly force. Deadly force is anything that can cause great bodily harm or death. When you plow into a vehicle that contains law enforcement agents, you're using deadly force. And they can use deadly force in response to stop you. We need to be clear about these laws. We cannot become a society where we just decide to take everything in our own hands and start to commit crimes against law enforcement. It is a crime. You may not like what they're doing. I can understand that there's a lot of emotions out there, but that does not mean that you get to commit a crime, especially one that could lead to deadly force. We need to keep everyone safe.
Very well said indeed. Very well said indeed. So you see, even in some of the inner cities, we still have some cops who are sensible. I don't know what this was. Oh, this came out. This is we're still in our little one more before I start getting into the ICE stuff. Although this is already leading us towards the ICE stuff. As the White House shared out, instead of facts, the media pushed shameless propaganda. That's why Americans don't trust them. Watch for yourself.
I saw this video. It didn't look like anybody got run over to me.
Oh, yeah. This is great. This is a great clip.
Based off what I'm seeing here, it really doesn't look like an ICE officer was run over.
You can see the video and see the agent wasn't run over. We all saw the video. She didn't run over the officer.
This was clearly not with any sort of intention to run somebody over.
That was great. That was great.
I saw this video.
See, only under Trump do we get video. Do we get drops like that? Official White House video. That is great. That was great. You'd be my undercover exclusive reporter, my intrepid. You have to call yourself intrepid. I need you to be intrepid. You're in Seattle area. You need cameras. You're broke. Use your phone. Just use your phone. You can just pull the little thing out of your pocket. Just leave it recording. Use your phone. I mean, it's not some expensive hookup. Whatever phone you got. Just saying, you want to go viral. You want to go viral. And find a way. Make it happen. Make it happen. There'll be no questions asked. All right, let's start getting into. Let's start getting into the chaos that's happening in Minneapolis and ICE taking action. First, no, we'll come back to that afterwards. This is Asmongold. Asmongold, who's just astonished by the level of just how dedicated some of these anti-ICE protesters are. This is pretty funny.
There it is. You can see right there. The self-assured look of a woman who knows that she's going to be spending the next 12 hours shitting herself in her car. She's wearing adult diapers so she can stay out all day and night stalking ICE. And I'm pretty sure that's what this woman is doing. You can see right there, good nights. She's literally wearing diapers so she can shit herself harassing ICE officers. Literally shitting herself, shitting and pissing herself, driving after ICE officers trying to catch them. That's disgusting. Really? I had no idea. Oh my God. Mental illness, a lot of these protesters. I know, it really is, isn't it? And these people are just out of their fucking mind. There it is. You can see, right?
Oh, that was hilarious. It's true. It's true. She's literally driving around, just dropping dookies and whizzing all over herself at ease in her goodnight diapers. Oh my God. That's some serious dedication right there. That's some serious freaking dedication. All right, look, yeah, everyone's got their own little styles. Not everyone has the comfort of being able to sit in their car. Others are facing the fray in Minneapolis, and they're paying the price for it. Not every old person there is just sitting comfortably, luxuriating in their car and in their own feces, trying to harass ICE agents. Some are on the front lines. Oh! What a happy couple. Who has water? Not you.
Somebody please get water. Here comes the lady. Okay, we need water. I hear her. We need more water.
It's like Rosie O'Donnell came back from Ireland to sit in her car in front of an ICE agent. God. Oh my God. And more pepper spray. Minneapolis. You need to have a gas mask if you're walking around Minneapolis. It's probably long been the case. It's probably long been the case. I got a whole bunch of these in a row. Oh, this is Nick Sorter. I was gonna say the Nick Sorter ones. I'm gonna lump all of them together. I had a whole bunch on Nick Sorter. We'll come to him soon. Here's ICE agents doing their takedown. God bless these patriots.
Stay back! Stay back! What did he do to you? Stay back! What did he do? Hey, stay back! Do not put your vehicle in here. Get back! I'm not resisting! I'm not resisting! I'm not resisting! Hey, I'm not resisting! I'm not resisting! I'm not resisting! Nobody did! I'm not resisting! Cowards in here! Back up! I'm not resisting! I'm not doing shit! Put your arm behind your back! This is how you going to Victor 3. That's what they said. Victor 3. Get up. Give him a good pat down once you get him up. Give him a good pat down. Get up.
Why are you there? If someone was following you around, wouldn't you be creeped out by that person? That they're probably a threat?
All right, take it back. Take it back. Back up, you guys.
Rip rats! Been a minute. Yeah, this is another thing also. When they say I'm not resisting, it doesn't mean you're not resisting. That doesn't mean you're not resisting.
Stay back. Hey, you guys need back.
Rip Rat used to be here all the time. I assumed that like far too many people. You'd been unsubbed by YouTube and just forgot about me. That's what I had assumed. Okay. That's just I wouldn't blame you at all. If I was unsubbed for me, I would never be here. That's the one trick YouTube hasn't come up with yet. If they would like ever unsub me for myself, show would just have to go off the air. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't even know what they're thinking of these people is.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Hey! Back up!
Get out of here! Get out of here! Oh my! That's Bavino.
Back up. Tough guy.
Well, this is unfortunate. This is unfortunate.
Back up. Back up. One more. You go back there, and then I'll put you under arrest. One more. You get back there one more time. Back up. Back up.
Do not want to mess with that dude. I think is this all the same guy? Yeah. All right, I'm bored with him. Let's get another one. Let's get another one. Come on. By the way, we're like halfway there on like the meeting our goal tonight. So if you guys want to watch me embarrass myself playing chess, it's like we just need like 7. By my count, 7. So we had one over in Rumble. So we're further along than it looks on YouTube. This one you're gonna like. This one you're gonna like. The music really helps. It's just gonna also get me like flagged by YouTube. Oh my god. I love that. I want that one again. That was great. What the F? What the F? You pushed down this guy who stayed in front of the car trying to block it. What the F? Yes, Carmina Burana. Beautiful song. But see, I need an unlicensed. I would love to use that, but I need like something that's like royalty free. That I don't have to like get hit and dinged every single time I use it. That's just annoying. This was another pepper spray moment. It's like Beirut. See, someone wants to see me play chess. Someone wants to see. See, Paulie, I think you're trolling it. You're definitely trolling. The guy's trying to impede ICE. Like, they have to stand there because the guy wants to be a douchebag. It's like, no, I'm pushing you down because you're a douchebag. It's not, you have to be a threat to be impeding. And I'm stopping you from impeding. Jerk. I'm not even saying you're the jerk. I think you're just like screwing around. That guy's a jerk. You really don't. You really don't. I'm really smart. I'm really smart. I don't know why I play chess so badly. I don't know why. It'll probably inspire you to play chess because you'll be like, all right, so if I feel stupid, like, well, I got to be better than Joe. Get him, boys. This isn't the one I want. I don't think this is the one I wanted. This needs some inspirational music. Let me find something better for you guys. Let me find something better. This is the one. This is the one I wanted. I got a bunch more, don't worry. This is the one I wanted.
Okay, I'm on.
She threw water bottle at ICE agents and then ran off. And now we get this.
Couldn't have been bacon right there. The cannon was. Back up! Back up! I'm a safe distance. Do you feel safe?
That's what I was thinking when I was watching this. It's better. I think it's better without the volume. You just see her start to run. That's right. So what do you think she does here? Think she comes along peacefully now? Oh no. Oh no. My legs! My legs! I can't use my legs! I can't use my legs! Get up! Get up! I can't use my legs! I can't use my legs! I can't feel my legs! Get up! I can't use my legs. I can't. Oh, my legs ain't working. I can't use my legs. I can't use them. Unbelievable. Now, when he puts the glasses on her, I'll just say this. She responds nicely here.
You gonna stand up?
Thank you.
No. Are you proud of what you're doing? Stand up. Any of you can answer that fucking question.
All right, now I'll stand up. You give me my glasses. I'll stand up now.
Are you proud of what you're doing? Are you proud of what you're doing?
And you got this doofus over here. Remember this doofus's face if you ever see him. Are you proud of what you're doing? Hell yeah. Are you proud of what you're doing? Hell yeah. Are you proud of what you're doing? Damn straight.
Proud of what you're doing? Are you proud of what you're doing? Any of you? No.
No, the legs ain't working again. Oh no. Oh no. Legs ain't working again. Legs ain't working again. Oh no. Hug the ground. Hug the ground. Oh no. Legs ain't working. She too heavy to lift. What are we gonna do with her? Oh my God. Oh, we missed this because I silenced the audio. This doofus screaming, "Can you breathe? Can you breathe? Can you breathe?"
Back up! Fuck you! Back up! Fuck you!
This doofus.
What'd you eat for breakfast? Couldn't have been bacon, right? That'd be cannibalism. Back up! Back up! I'm a safe distance. Do you feel safe? You need a new job, motherfucker. You got anything on you?
So bitter.
Man, are you good? Can you breathe?
Can you breathe? Can you breathe? Tell us you can't breathe.
It's always an unknown reason, dumbass.
Douchebag. Grade A douchebag, that dude. I got more for you. Don't worry. I got more. They're all so bitter. Smash her window. Get her out. Get her out. No, he's not at all resisting. He's not at all resisting. He's so compliant. He's so compliant. Oh yeah, let's check out this woman. Just from this alone, you know it's going to be good. Just from this moment right here, you know it's going to be good.
Step back.
Wants to sit in the road. She just wants to plant. She wants to plant all 400 of her mass in the road and act like a speed bump. Look at this guy in the back over here. He's like, I'm gonna go save my woman Watch what happens to him because you may have missed it because you get focused. You get focused on one planet. It's hard to notice what's happening with the moon. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you're watching with the alignment of bodies in the sky. So you get very fixated on what the planet's doing. You miss what's happening with the moon. So we're gonna rewatch this. I'm gonna urge you focus on the moon over here. Okay, here's your planet down here. Focus on what happens to the moon because it's kind of funny.
Step back.
Oh, look at him. Oh no. Oh no. Total eclipse of the heart. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Don't worry, I got more. I got more for you. There's so many of these. So many of these. I remember this one. That's one. That's two.
Got everything? Just stop right here. Mark, just stop right here. There's a lot of glass everywhere. Fuck you. Just punch it and we're out.
Did they take the driver?
You have no fucking right to be here. Get out of our state. Sir, stay over there, please. Fucking murderous,
sir.
traitorous
I'm telling you, you're not gonna like the outside.
Get the fuck out!
I have a lot of room.
Get out!
You will never stop following.
Get the fuck out!
Have to put up with that phone. You decide to break the law.
Thank you guys.
We will never
Get
stop
out of our
following
fucking
you.
state!
We will never
Get
stop
out!
following you. Howard.
Fuck you!
We'll be back later.
Howard, get a real job. Sir, back up. Get on the sidewalk, sir.
Generic, I just want to be clear here. First of all, thank you for the very generous chat. I didn't mean to ignore it. I'm going to save this for after I'm done with the whole ICE thing, and then I'll come back to this at that point, okay? Because I don't want to sort of sidetrack in the middle. But I will come back to this probably like another 15, 20 minutes or so. Okay, I just want to give it its proper due, but I also don't want to disrupt the whole thing I'm covering here. Is watching you play chess the equivalent to you trying to explain physics to us? Hopefully you'll understand it better, because I think a lot of you don't understand my physics takes. But yeah, hopefully you'll understand my objective better. What's your take on the Minnesota suit versus ICE and the DOJ? I think it's a lot of nothing. What the hell can they possibly bring? I didn't even see that there was a suit. Minnesota sued ICE and the DOJ. Minnesota v. ICE. Now I'm curious. This is related.
Welcome back. Local officials in Minnesota have just filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration to block the surge of ICE officers to the state. Raids escalated in the region on Sunday, including in St. Paul, where a man was dragged from his car and a bystander filming the incident was tackled by federal agents. CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Skanga joins us now from Minneapolis. Nicole, great to see you. I know you've been on the ground there for over a week.
Got to it.
What more do we know about this lawsuit that's just been filed?
Yeah, Caitlin, just moments ago, the Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison announced this federal lawsuit. He called what is happening here on the ground in Minneapolis, what DHS has dubbed Operation Metro Surge, a federal investigation. accusing the Department of Homeland Security of launching an unlawful, unprecedented surge of federal law enforcement into Minnesota. He said, quote, "This has to stop." He went
He can execute federal law however he best sees fit. It happens to be in your state, so be it.
on to cite some of the legal theories in this very novel federal.
I was going to say it sounds really novel. Novel is, but novel is not usually used as a compliment. Okay, let's hear these novel theories.
Lawsuit saying it was a violation of the Constitution of
How?
Federal law.
How?
Citing the 10th Amendment, saying it was a violation of state sovereignty.
No, it's federal law.
That had a reckless impact on schools, on churches, on local law enforcement. He said DHS's use of excessive lethal force has made the community here terrified. He also said,
Yeah, that's not going to work either.
It was a violation of the little-known Administrative Procedures Act, which bars federal agencies from taking actions that are capricious and arbitrary. Another very interesting fact from the Minnesota Attorney General, he said local law enforcement has spent over $2 billion over the past few days in order to protect the city in light of all of the activity here. And he went on to say that this was an unlawful commandeering of local law enforcement resources. And certainly we're here at the vigil right now honoring the memory of Renee Good. And there is a local police presence
Makes you burn in hell.
On site.
Yeah, Nicole, speaking of that memorial that you're standing in front of, there is an investigation into what happened last week. Where does that all stand?
Yeah, actually, Caitlin, there are two investigations right now. We know that the FBI is leading the federal investigation into exactly what happened in the moments leading up and after Renee Good was fatally shot.
All right, I don't care about the rest of this nonsense. So I think we got, from what I've heard, it doesn't sound like there's much there, but I don't want to weigh in and give a definitive statement on it without actually having looked at the complaint itself. But the causes of action that she was citing, the APA one, I need to look at the APA in order to weigh on that. To start claiming that it's arbitrary and capricious, that seems like a difficult stretch, given the fact that it's not arbitrary or capricious. They're taking people out, right? I mean, he has carte blanche to execute federal law. That's what they're doing. So, yeah. It doesn't sound like there's much there, but I can't really say that definitively until such time as I actually look at the complaint. That's my thought on it now. Ilhan Omar got thrown out of the ICE facility in Minnesota. Good. I mean, they could have thrown her behind bars. She's probably an American citizen. Although there's an investigation to see whether or not she actually is an American citizen. Did I really miss your super chat? Is that possible? I got this one. I got that one. I said I don't think that Mark Green's gonna get to. It's gonna get to this one. Those whistles need to be. YouTube won't let me say. They're purposefully annoying. They're designed to be. I apologize for missing this, Kimmy. They're designed to be annoying. Their objective is to be annoying. Which that's never the side of angels. The side of angels is never like we're going to be as annoying as possible. That's never the side of angels. I'm going to come back to it. Okay, generic. I will come back to it. I told you I will, and I will. I'll come back to it, but I don't want to. I need to sort of stay in a zone for a while. Wait, what sounds more like a graphic novel? The lawsuit? Would it be the best time for Trump to pull the Insurrection Act in the midst of government shutdown or beforehand? Let's think this through for a moment. What is the relationship between those two potential events. So we're all looking at potentially looming government shutdown if we can't fund the government soon. And the Insurrection Act would enable him to go do what he needs to do. I'm not really sure. You're saying politically, would it be better? You asked me if it would be better to do that before there's a shutdown. I don't really see those two factors necessarily having much impact on it, because him declaring him, unless you're talking about the Insurrection Act being related to their shutdown, but I don't see how he would do that. So I assume you're referring to the Insurrection Act in the context of immigration enforcement. And I don't really see how that ties into the government shutdown. Cool. Cool. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Right. Let me get back. I want to finish up this ICE thing here. So I got more to cover with you. I think we're gonna hit our goal. Are we gonna hit our goal? Where are we at on our goal? Let me see where we're at on our goal. Do a quick check on our goal. Oh, we got 10 out of 15. Could happen. Sometimes happens here. We got a late little push. I'll even count those as double. Which one could he get more done? I don't think that the government being open or closed has anything to do with his ability to get things done during Insurrection Act. They'll be whining from, even if the government is officially closed, you're saying, I guess you can say that when the government is closed, they're still going to have ICE agents out there. So I don't think that it's going to have an impact on his ability to engage in ICE activities just because the government's closed. So that's why I'm not feeling like they're really going to be particularly relevant to each other. Whether the government is open or closed, we know that the Democrats on the Hill are going to come out whining and screaming about it. So that's why I don't really see that one is necessarily impacting the other. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like saying, is it better to have a red car or a steak? They're both good. Although in this context, I don't see that a government shutdown is going to have much impact on what he does when he's trying to incorporate the Insurrection Act. Unless you're saying there's going to be a shortage of funds for ICE, but I don't think that's a problem. I don't think it's going to be a problem. You. You're funny. You're really funny. The shutdown party loses elections. Let them shut it. Well, Trump got blamed for the last shutdown. The Republicans got blamed for the last shutdown. So I don't know. Let me share with you a few more. Let me share with you a few more before I get to Nick Sorter, and then I'll get to Generic's question. I had one or two more here. Do I want this one? And I think okay. So Nick Sorter is in Minnesota. Apparently, he got surrounded. This is what it looked like outside the car, Nick Sorter's car.
You are not free to leave. We're not moving until the cops get here.
See, this seems like something that in any state should be the law. He can drive through these people. There you go. That's why it's not a problem. Imagine sitting in that car. Imagine what that must feel like. You're Nick Sorter. These lunatics.
You guys just tuning in. You got Nick Sorter and Cam Higbee in the Jeep here. They were both out. Nick Sorter hit a female protester. And so you got people here in Minnesota. Oh, there they go. Shit. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, shit, dude. Hey, do you get that? Everybody get that? That's Nick Sorter. Oh, my God.
That's these lunatics here. This is what it looked like inside the car. Cute.
Get out of the way! Get out of the way!
And this guy tried blocking him in. They're freaking animals. They're freaking animals. It's a rental car. I hope he got insurance. So there you go. There you go. Getting the news isn't easy. And before I wrap up here, here's a woman who's telling you just how rough ICE has been on them. Just how rough ICE has been on them. Her own personal tale of woe. A very, very credible story from this woman here. She's telling you her own tale of woe as to how she was afflicted, oppressed by ICE. We need to pay very close attention to all the facts of her story, which definitely totally happened.
They said, "Have you not learned? This is why we killed that lesbian bitch."
Can you tell us what happened to you?
So first off, I'm a United States Marine veteran. We were following them from a safe distance.
Following ICE agents.
Yep, following ICE agents. They stopped in the middle of the road and reversed on 62. They tried to ram our car. They broke my window. They yanked me out by my neck. They threw me to the ground. They stomped on me. They pushed my face into the ground. They put the cuffs on as tight as possible to the point where it took 6 agents to try to get them off.
Okay, so
I didn't say cop. I said cops. It took 10 cops. And I still walked in here crying like a man. Still walked in here like a man. You walked in here, you was crying like a baby. I still walked in here like a man. This is a totally believable story. Totally believable story. They went in reverse and reversed into me. Yeah, that's what they did in the middle of a highway.
they break the window, they haul you out, they're stomping on you, they're beating you. As they're doing this, are they saying anything?
Yeah, they were calling me a bunch of derogatory names, calling me it. They tried to break my ankle. When he turned my ankle all the way around, I screamed, and he said, "Yeah, I bet you like that, don't you?" I took an oath.
They tried to break its ankle. I seriously am not sure if this is a dude or a woman. So the one part of this story that I believe is that they called this individual it. I have absolutely no idea. I've heard this. I've seen this video 3 times, and I'm still not sure if it's a man or a woman. So I totally get them calling it an it.
And it's the oath that they're spitting on and stomping on. And this isn't Germany. They're Nazis. They're Gestapo. They think that they're above the law. They don't care.
Well, there you go. I thought it helps. It helps you better understand this story. Helps you better understand this story. So that's pretty much what's been going on in Minnesota. All of it very predictable, honestly. All of it very predictable, which is why everyone's descending to Minnesota. It's the place to be. It's where all the cool kids hang. Catch video yourself. That's one of my things going off there. Liz sending me Fitty over here. And Brian trying to get us over the finish line here. I'm sort of feeling indebted at a certain point here. Not gonna kid you, I'm feeling indebted. I'm feeling like, she had done 5/10s, I would have done it. I didn't give you this, I need to give you that. Thank you for the 50. The shutdown party laws loses elections, let them shut it. Big beautiful bill fund ICE and CB until September. That's good news. Obviously, what were your thoughts on the Supreme Court decision of using all the different forces he has before using the National Guard? What do you think they meant? So my interpretation of that was that I didn't take it. They were saying to use all available forces. I took it as if they were trying to say that you're not allowed to use the military here, and because you cannot use the military here, and the National Guard can only come after you would use the military. Therefore, you cannot use the National Guard. In other words, I didn't read it as them saying that you would have to exhaust all available forces. I understood it to them saying the right of the National Guard to come is an extension of the right of the military. It's come secondarily to the military. So the military, and if the military fails, then they would step in to support. If the military alone is not enough to handle, then they would step up to support. So if your primary source doesn't have jurisdiction, then the secondary source cannot have jurisdiction. That's how I understood what they wrote. It was such a morass of weird phrasing, and Kavanaugh only made it that much more confusing with his concurrence. That's how I understood what they were saying. So all these people were saying, like, oh yeah, that they're telling you to use the military first. I personally did not read it that way, but I know a lot of people on the right looked at it that way, like, well, I guess they just said you should use the military. I didn't read it that way. I read it as they were basically saying, because you cannot use the military here, that's why you cannot use the National Guard here. However, I thought that interpretation was bonkers idiotic. And the reason it was bonkers idiotic is because if you look at that particular statute, it doesn't say, it specifically is saying that, I don't remember exactly which one it was, 10498? I don't remember what it was. I haven't looked at the decision in a while. But the language of the statute, I thought, made clear that no, the National Guard can go in places that the military is not allowed to go. And that's totally fine. That's one of the distinctions. It's not just like a backup force that it's like they're a Band-Aid in case there's a rip in the military, but that they're actually a force of a different nature and can be used by the president in a different way than he would be allowed to use the military. So the way I understood what they said, I thought was a completely terrible read of the words of the statutes, which seemed to specifically say that he is able to use the National Guard in a different way, but that I remember that the term in there was that the use of forces. Now I gotta find that term there. Give me a moment now. Was it special forces? Let's go to this. 12406 subsection 3. Okay, I remember what it was. Now I see the language of the statute here. That this section here, 12406, this is 10 USC 12406, National Guard and Federal Service call. He called them up under subsection 3 that when the president unable with regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. So they said regular forces here means military. Right? So he says, if the military can't do it, in that case, then the president can call the federal guard and units of the National Guard. So he said, what does regular forces means? It means military. Trump was saying what regular forces means. Regular forces means ICE or the IRS or any other my regular forces when it says regular forces here. They said, no. Regular forces means the military. And since the military can't be called here, then the National Guard can't be called here. Well, that's a retarded read, because if you look at the next few words here where it says to execute the laws of the United States, the military is never enforcing executional laws of the United States. They execute the defense of the United States. When is the military ever executing the laws of the United States? How could regular forces mean the military when the military is supposed to be defending us from foreign enemies? And in the same sentence as, how would it make sense to say the president unable with military to execute the laws of the United States? That's essentially how they're reading it. That doesn't make any sense at all, because the military is never involved in executing the laws of the United States. So that's why I thought that was a completely bonkers, moronic read of this statute. But I don't read it that they were saying, oh, first you need to call them. First call the military and then call the National Guard. I read it as they were saying you're not allowed to call them. And since you're not allowed to call the primary source, you cannot call the National Guard secondary source, which basically means this entire statute, this entire section 3 could never ever work, can never ever happen. There's no scenario where it could happen, which is stupid. Congress doesn't write statutes that can never come into effect. So it must be your interpretation. How you're understanding the statute is bizarro wrong. That was my thought on that. Can you use the military if it's an insurrection act being used? I haven't looked into that. I don't know how that operates. I haven't looked into that. I don't want to weigh in on that because I don't. If he ever, and I think the Insurrection Act has different bases as to how it can be invoked also. So I definitely don't want to weigh in on that. But I do want to weigh in on this. So this was sent to me earlier by Generic. It's a follow-up on part of our conversation that we had, I don't know, okay, a half hour into this thing. So let me give you the horn for that. Mark Gruber and Godstad are touchy but great thinkers. We don't even trust the 9/11 narrative. In my opinion, we're not in a blob, but a planet-sized goop. There is a WW op against the West. I've seen WTS get smeared worldwide. So this isn't specific to Jews. Okay. As far as not trusting the 9/11 narrative, I understand that. The distrusters invariably, frequently, not all of them, frequently seem to blame Israel for it. The dancing Israeli thing is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. But I don't know what WTS means. I've seen WTS get smeared worldwide. I'm watching the chat here to see if you can help explain what WTS. And you know what, there's a worldwide op against the West. Is that what this means, WW? A worldwide op against the West? Yeah, I can do that. I don't trust the 9/11 narrative. I assume you're still here, brother. Mark Gruber and God said are touchy but great thinkers. They are both very, very, very great thinkers. We don't even trust the 9/11 narrative. Okay. By the way, as a New Yorker, it's very hard for me to listen to a lot of the attacks on the 9/11 narrative because it was traumatizing. It was traumatizing being in the city when that whole thing happened. So it's like, I think it's possible that I have cognitive dissonance. Like I wouldn't like to hear stories, to hear that a narrative that contradicts what has been accepted as truth is sort of, that would be painful. Like if it came out that Bush orchestrated it as a basis to justify going into Iraq and Afghanistan, like that would feel painful. So I'm significantly aware of my own biases, even though I hate Bush. But I'm significantly aware of my own biases that I can recognize that. I don't know. I'm like the best person to talk about with respect to 9/11, but I don't think your whole primary point here is Danny, you know what WTS is? Am I the only one who's like missing? Yeah, I struggle with that also. He also doesn't seem like he's a great actor. Like you could see when he's sitting in that classroom and they whispered to him that the tower was struck, you see his face turn white and his mouth go like. FYI, I was regular Army for 18 years. There's always a plan for the use of the Army in every election. They always have a warno for election riots issued to rotating units in each post. I guess that's with respect to the Insurrection Act, right? If there's an insurrection, so in that case, and you need to declare the Insurrection Act, in that case, the military can be called in, which is what I think that's the proper answer to this question. If the Insurrection Act is being used, that you can use the military. It sounds like a situation where you can use the military, right? So, and this makes sense to me. I wish you would have explained a little bit more about what that other $50 chat is, because I'm not sure if there was a question I'm supposed to answer here. But I am we're past the 2-hour mark. I think that YouTube doesn't seem to realize that we reached our goal, but I realize we reached our goal. So I am going to be doing that chess thing. You're all going to be watching me play chess here, for better or for worse. For better or for worse. That's going to happen very, very shortly. I think in fact it's time. I think it's time for me to start working my way towards chess. But first, let me go over to the ghetto. Sigbright says, you know how you're supposed to pee on a jellyfish sting? We need to start the internet rumor that peeing on pepper spray neutralizes. Imagine this. I like how you think that peeing on pepper spray neutralizes it. Oh my God, pee on my face, pee on my face. Oh my God, that'd be so good. It burns. I like how you think, Sigbright. I like how you think indeed. I don't want to forget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take care of rating. Let me take care of rating Jim Tells You. So let me take care of that. Because I'll be mad at myself if I forget about it.
And what about the angel moms? How about an angel mom pin? They never seem to talk about that.
He's actually showing a clip that I meant to show you all, and I haven't. So I'm going to do that now. But Before I switch over to chess, I'm going to share with you a clip of Bovino talking on Fox. It was a clip that I had found. He likely shared with me also. All right. This is him talking about how Tim Walz and Fry are responsible for everything that's happening in Minnesota, which is a great way to close this segment out.
There at that store is something that has become very common here in Minneapolis and Minnesota. And we do talk about that. But one of the things that we talked about that I want you and the viewers to know is this is an operation of contrasts. As you know, we just got back from Louisiana, from that fantastic operation in Louisiana. This didn't happen in Louisiana. Violence did not happen in Louisiana. The fantastic leadership of Governor Landry, Colonel Hodges from the Highway Patrol. But we're here in Minneapolis. Let me give you a statistic here, Martha. Well over 20 assaults on federal officers in 3 days here in Minnesota. In Louisiana, I counted 1 for that entire 30-day operation. So a vast contrast. I can only think that Governor Walz and Mayor Fry, you just had Mayor Fry's speech on there, they're responsible for what you saw in that store yesterday and for that violence that our federal officers confront every single day here in Minneapolis.
All of the violence, both that felt by the protesters and by ICE, is a result of the failed Democratic leadership in Minnesota. Leadership, this is what people don't fully appreciate. Leadership sets a tone for what is going to happen. They set a tone. And Democrat leaders and the social media pundits and Congress and the local Democrat leaders, they are all ratcheting up the rhetoric. They want the violence. They want ICE to react. They want video of it. They want it all. They want this country to burn. That's what they care about. Ultimately, that's what the goal is. Make the country burn. These people are as destructive as imaginable. And they're cancer. They're a cancer in our country. White, WYT is white. Imagine how you would feel about 9/11 after 3 years of deployment. Certainly our government wouldn't lock us in our homes or threaten our jobs too. On January 3rd or 4th, 2021 is the first time I made my debut on Nick Rekieta's channel. Okay? And during the first conversation I ever had with that man, I told him that what white people were experiencing is the same biases, racism, hatred that Jews have experienced for centuries in one place after another. So what the left has done is they turned white people into the Jews. That's what it was. I was like, you are now the Jews. That's it. I'll give you your little yellow star, but you're the Jews. The white people will blame for everything. So welcome. I was like, I said, there was this woman, I forgot her name. I think it was Reed, Joy Reed, who said that, Jews are white people or something like that. I was like, no. Jews aren't white people. White people became the Jews. So I get it. I totally get it. And I get your frustration. Anyway, so courtesy of Generic Account and many others of you, which really started with Pam, I moved on to FU, Brian Oldenkamp kicking in here, Generic over and over again, Kit Kat, Pam running, and who did I have in the ghetto over here? Uzelian. I think it's time I think it's time. Oh, and obviously Liz, always Liz. She carries us across all the time. I think it's time that I live up to my commitment, which is that I'm gonna allow you all here to watch me play chess. I'm not saying it's gonna be pretty. I'm not saying I'm gonna win. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I do play 5-minute chess. It's actually a great diversion for when I just want to kill 10 minutes. It's what I like about it is that I know it's going to take no more than 10 minutes. So I promised you all I'd let you watch me play chess for 30 minutes. 30 minutes of watching me play chess. You can all mock my suckiness at chess. At 5-minute chess, I'm rated around 600 or so, which is not something to be proud of. I mean, considering you start at 800. Oh my God. I'm started. This is me on the bottom. I'm good logic. What the heck is that? In 5-minute chess, you have to move fast. It's very hard to see. I need it bigger. A lot of 5-minute chess is just moving fast. It's just getting your pieces out fast. Much more than making good moves. It's about making moves. Just make moves. All right. Where you want to go? You want to go here? You want to go there? Where you want to go there? You want to go here, don't you? Here to go there. That's what you want to do. Let's just castle. Oh, I'm clicking. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, it is awesome to think one move ahead. I sometimes do. All right, let's just get a. Is he going to want to take that out and then try and trade? He's not going to want to trade queens, that's for sure. I don't think he's going to want to trade queens. All right, let's just start getting our pieces out. Okay. I guess he doesn't want to trade queens. Pretty weird. Am I losing? Why would you want to be trading queens? Why would that be your thought process? That's pretty weird. He wants to get my pawn? Like all this for a pawn? Really? That's a lot of work for a pawn that I'm not going to let you have. I'll take that one. It's time for me to start getting more aggressive. Let's get more aggressive. All right. That's not safe. What are you doing there? That's pretty stupid. I was thinking I wanted to get there. Can you take that? I don't know what he's thinking. But okay. I'll take the next bishop. I'll take them both. I'll take them both. I gotta get my knight out. My back row knight. Gotta get that out. All right. Let's get that out. I don't know what the plan is, but let's make it difficult for him to castle. I don't think you're going to be able to castle anymore. Oh, that wasn't good. Oh, my God. That was not good. What was I thinking? What the heck was that, Joe? What was that? What was that? Oh, my God. Ah! That was so dumb. I gotta move. I gotta move fast. I'm gonna have to give up. I'm gonna have to give up my my knight to save it. That's what we're gonna do. I'll take that. I don't know what his game plan is. I don't understand your game plan. I think I need to start. Playing for keeps. Gotta start moving towards checkmate here. Think I gotcha. Son of a bitch. Dang it. Come on. Threaten it. Threaten it. You know you want to. You know you want to. Oh my God. I knew I was going to do that. I knew I was going to do that. I knew I was going to do that. I'm such an idiot. I hate myself. Oh my God. I'm such an idiot. I hate myself. I knew it was going to happen. I knew I was going to get back romated. I knew it. I knew it. Doofus, 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 doofus. I lost. I lost. I bring this down here. I lost. See? That's what happens. Joey, Joey, Joey. Where's the resign button on this button? Damn it. Ridiculous. See? I suck. Told you. It's a lot of pressure doing this in front of people. Come on. Ooh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, no. Come on. Go, go, go. Do it. Take the pawn. Take my pawn. Take the pawn. Take it. Take it. There we go. There we go. There we go. You know you wanted that. Now what? Now what are you going to do? Now what do you do? Oh, these are hard questions. What do I do now? What do I do now? What to do? Because what I really want to do is I want to come here. I want to come here. That's right. That's where I'm headed. I'll take you if I have to, but I really want to go here. Come on. Come on. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Which do I prefer more? I think I prefer this pawn more. I do. Uh-oh. You're about to get checkmated. Oh, no. You bring the queen out, and then I take you. Oh, that was so sad. Great opening. And I have Magnus Carlsen. He's all impressed with me. He's all impressed with me. That's right. Gotham Levy or whatever. Let's do another one. He wants a rematch? I'll accept that. Let's see if you fall for the same thing again. Oh, wait, I'm white this time. I'll fried liver ya. I'll fried liver ya. I'm gonna fried liver ya. Oh, that's what wait. You gonna fried liver me free first? Is that what you think? That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Okay. Okay. He wants to come here. He wants to come here. Definitely wants to be there. Yeah, I think I gotta block that. Come on. What you gonna do now? What you gonna do now? You're gonna try and push that pawn? Right? Is that what you're doing? You're going D5? You going D5? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. You did take my pawn. I'm gonna take your knight. I'll take this first. Because that looks like it's probably very annoying to you. If you come there, I probably should do this first. I probably should castle first. Didn't think of that, but you can't take me. I guess I'll just take your queen. So there's nothing that I can do. You just gave me that. Hmm. Hmm. Pawn, take. If I take, you take me. I take you. No. I come here. No. I go there. What is happening? Should I push the pawn and protect the bishop that way? I think push the pawn. I don't like how his knight is so far out. All right, yeah, let's take this out. Interesting. I'm falling way behind time. 2:16. Oh my God. I don't like how this is working here. Let's just start moving faster. Okay. Check the knight with my other knight. So protect her here. Oh, stupid me. I had the queen. I had a freaking queen. And I gave my queen instead. This is the time pressure. Dag nabbit. I'm such an idiot. You see, this is what I make mistakes like that. The queen was just hanging out right here. Yeah. I'm a loser. Soy emprendedor. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? I'm such an idiot. I can't even take that freaking thing because you're just going to take my rook. All right, I got to use my knights. There were nights when the hearts were so cold. I got 1:09 left. I'll keep chasing you. Oh, you're just going to take me there. That's what you want. That's what you want me to do, isn't it? Isn't it? I don't think you can. I don't see how you can do that. All right, Joe, move. You're threatening my rook here, doofus. Take my pawn, bitch. All right. I think I gotta start moving forward. I have to be aggressive. I got 27 seconds left. That's pathetic. That's right. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. You bitch. Damn it. Come on. What the heck? Oh, you little biatch. Oh, that was painful. I was going to come here, and then they come here, and they come here. See, this is where the clock is everything. Clock is everything. Everything in this game. Clock is everything. I told you I'm not good at chess. That's why this is like a penalty for making my goal. It's a penalty. Thank you. I know it is amazing content. I didn't write the rules. Actually, I did write the rules. I wrote the rules. I didn't tell you guys to pay for this. God, I suck at this. You just rated me. I didn't tell you to do that either. I didn't tell you to do that. I'm sorry. Oh, gosh. All right, here we go. One more. I'm 1 and 2 so far. That's bad. That's what I always do when they do that. Take it. They either take the knight or they take the pawn. That's what they do. His knight is moving. It's either eating. See? I'm going to come here. And he's going to come here. But the question is, does he use his bishop or a knight? Are you going to use your bishop or your knight? You're definitely coming here. Once in a while, they'll come over here. Once in a while, they'll bring the knight back. That'll happen sometimes. There you go. You just lost. He's going to move the rook over here next to the king. And then I'm going to take the queen. Oh, even better. Checkmate. I didn't see it. I forgot the bishop come back. Now it's checkmate. Oh, dang it. He's in trouble. What do? You gotta bring the bishop back, and then I come here. I told you it was coming. I told you it was coming. Duckfat, do I still owe you money? You didn't get paid. I'll send you the whatchamacallit. He didn't send you the 150? Is that true? I told you he was supposed to send you 150. If he didn't take care of it, I'll take care of it in the next 24 hours. Duck Fat, did you get your other 150? Thank you for the kind words. And do one more. We're doing one more, and then we're getting out of here. 2 and 2 so far. Let's just screw around. I'm just playing. I'm just throwing pieces up. I'm just throwing pieces. Like throwing hands. Bishop here, 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 here. Row 3, row 4. Come on, which one? Which one? I'll throw it here. He's just going to push his pawn. Let's bring it here. Okay. Where is he going? He wants to take my bishop? You want the bishop? Why do you want the bishop? Why would you want to do that? That's not nice. That's very rude. Let's get this out of here. I don't like having a knight there. Your knight there is very, very, very annoying. It's a very annoying knight. I make that trade all day. Okay. I don't like how he's clearing a path for his bishop to attack my knight. All right, let's do this. I need to wreck his pawn structure on the other side. Let's start attacking that pawn structure before he castles there. So that's where he wants to go. I'm going to have to move this rook over before, because otherwise if he pushes the pawn, he's threatening this and this. I don't like the way this, I don't like the whole setup. So I got to move my knight, my rook. Oh, I can move rook up. If I move rook up, that's a good way to do this. He doesn't know what to do. He's everything is very torn for him. Oh, okay. So I gotta move this out here. Now he brings that forward. I can take you. I don't see a problem there. Okay, let's move this up one. He's gonna come here. He's taking that. He's taking my pawn. He wants to get his queen down here. That's what he really wants. Or bring his knight down. This is what he wants. He wants to clear that path. He wants that pawn, his own pawn out of the way. Not letting him do that. So his pawn is blocking this rook from coming down this file and then bringing the queen down and trying to attack. So I'd rather mess his structure up here. If he pushes, I can take with the knight. If he takes, which he'll probably do, I take with my king, and then he brings the queen down, and I'm really in trouble. I have to do it. I'm having a problem here. I think I need to push the pawn so he can't take it. I'll take it with the other one. It's all right, here we go. This is intense. It's so intense. Is he going to push the pawn? Is he going to push it? Okay, I didn't think of that. I really didn't think of that at all. That was very stupid. I should have brought this down. If I bring this down, then I just bring this. Well, this still wouldn't help me here. But I would still be like, he's just going to come here. And isn't that checkmate? That's the only. Did I just lose? I think I just lost. I hate myself. He's coming in here. It's checkmate. I hate this game. I suck. I told you, I suck. I suck. I suck. I suck. Was it worth it? Was it good for you? Was it good for you? It wasn't good for me. God, that was painful. Ugh. All I had to do was just slide that. I knew it too. It was different. It was different. Yeah. So I need to get my game better. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. I saw there were a couple chats that came in while I was busy playing. That's very kind of you. Member for 16 months. Gen X protesters are a bunch of latchkey biatches who don't want anyone to feel bad for it, effing up their own life. I don't know what latchkey means in this context, to be honest with you. But Generic saying, whatever you think of my comments, I won the chess game. Play for my amusement. You are in check to the audience. I am. I'm in constant check. I'm in constant check. God, that was humiliating. Ugh. Minnesota law. Well, I'll be able to look back at this one day when I'm much better at chess and say, oh my God, I was so terrible. Minnesota law 609066. Officers can use deadly force. I should give the horn. $20 chat. Use deadly force if a driver accelerates toward them, creating immediate life-threatening danger. No need to wait for impact. They can act based on apparent intent and proximity. Let me pull this statute up here that you're referencing. Minnesota 609.066. Just we're all on the same page here. For the purpose of this section, deadly force means force which the actor uses with the purpose of causing or which the actor should reasonably know creates a substantial risk of causing death or great bodily harm. Let's see if we can do a search for the word vehicle here so we can search this fast. What are you saying it says here? Let's see, Control F, driver. I don't see driver. Notwithstanding the provisions of Section 60906 or 065, use of deadly force by a peace officer in the line of duty is justified only if an objectively reasonable officer would believe, based on totality of circumstances known to the officer at the time, that without the benefit of hindsight, such force is necessary to protect the peace officer from another form of death or great bodily harm, provided that the threat can be articulated with specificity, reasonably likely to occur absent action by the law enforcement, and must be addressed to the use of deadly force without unreasonable delay. To effect the arrest or capture or prevent the escape of a person who the peace officer knows has reasonable grounds to believe is committing or attempting to commit a felony. So we don't really have the attempting to commit a felony. But I do think, I remember hearing something. I'm going to ask Rock about this since you brought this up, Common Ground, who I'm going to call Common. I remember hearing something that Tim Walz passed a statute that actually protects Jonathan Ross. Let's ask Rock if there is such a statute. I saw something like that online, and I was just like, is that really true? And there might be a statute that... Hey, Grok, I read somewhere that Tim Walz passed a statute which might be helpful to Jonathan Ross in his defense if he was ever charged with shooting Renee Good. Do you know what statute that might be?
Nah, that doesn't sound right at all. Tim Walz wasn't involved in any shooting.
Doofus.
What happened was...
Doofus. I'm not saying he was involved in the shooting. I said he passed a statute which would enable the use of deadly force, and that statute could be beneficial to Jonathan Ross in his defense. I know that Tim Walz was not involved in any shooting.
Got it. Sorry for the mix-up earlier. Yeah, you're right. Tim Walz signed the 2020 Police Accountability Act, which amended Minnesota Statute 609.066 on peace officers' use of deadly force. It tightened the rules overall, making it more restrictive, like requiring specific articulation of an imminent threat. But some folks are pointing out that the standard still allows deadly force against a vehicle if an officer reasonably believes it's an immediate risk of death or great bodily harm, like accelerating toward them. That said, Jonathan Ross is a federal ICE agent, so his actions fall under DHS, ICE policy, and federal law, not directly under the state statute.
Fair
Though
point.
if state...
Yeah, okay, shut up. All right. He wouldn't fall directly under Minnesota statute. That is correct. I don't see here the direction of a vehicle in which another person believes can use deadly force, less lethal munitions means projectiles. This is the Garner status. It's a Supreme Court case from like 1989 called Garner that says the decision by a peace officer to use deadly force shall be evaluated from the perspective of a reasonable officer in the same situation based on totality of circumstances, known or perceived by the officer at the time, rather than with the benefit of the hindsight. And if you hear any leftists trying to attack Jonathan Ross as being a murderer, they always talk about, well, if he could have gone this way, he could have gone that way. Okay, that's hindsight. If an objectively reasonable officer would believe, based on totality of circumstances known to the officer at the time without the benefit of hindsight, that such force is necessary. Well, he doesn't know what the wheels turned. There's no way for him to know that. And I think he can articulate with specificity that I thought this car was going to run me over. And it's reasonably likely to occur. Unless I shoot her. Yeah, this is a perfectly lawful shoot. It's perfectly lawful. All right. I think it's time for me to land the plane. You all got to watch me humiliate myself playing chess. I hope that was worth it to you. Freaking humiliating. And God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. I hope you will join me at that time. Between now and then, I'm going to remind you that lab meat was never meant for you. It was meant for they, them, or protesters at the Minnesota rally. They should eat as much lab meat as they can ingest so they can stay nice and strong for their invaluable and very noble work. And do not eat the bugs. Do not do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. I thank you all for joining me. Have a good night and Godspeed. I was checking the ghetto real fast before I left. Checking the ghetto, make sure I didn't miss anything while I was playing. I did. Wait, ghetto, duck fat. Make 152. Here's your weekly reminder that interest accumulating 100% compound weekly. Next week, 304. You might want to call your friend so he's aware of the terms. I told you, let me know if he wasn't. I'll take care of you tomorrow. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. I will take care of you tomorrow. Maybe even now. I'll take care of you when I wrap up here. Good night. Godspeed.